Welcome back to one final episode of Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. Last time, we finished up the game, and as you can see, 198.2% completion. We didn't see every map tile, but we did everything that really matters. We got all the furniture, got the true ending, got to level 50, got all the best gear and everything. We pretty much saw everything that actually matters. We didn't really miss anything. But this last bonus episode is just to show off some of the extra modes and unlockables. So, first off, you input hard game as the name of a new save file. You'll hear a Dracula voice line, and now you're in hard mode, which I'm not going to show much because there's not much to show. What hard mode is basically you just receive double damage from everything. There's really nothing more to say about that. Enemies don't get new like attack patterns or anything. Your other stats don't appear to change at all. As far as I'm aware, the only difference with hard mode is that you just take double damage from everything. So in terms of like hard modes in games, it's unfortunately a pretty boring one because it doesn't actually change the way you play at all. You just take more damage. Let's let Talos fall down into the pit again here. About the only thing he's good for. Just quickly show the increased damage you take from enemies, although, of course, these early enemies are not very strong, so you're receiving extra damage, yeah, but early on it's not a huge deal. Yeah, you can barely even notice it anyway. You go from taking 1 damage to taking 2. Like, isn't that crazy? You guys also still just do 1 damage. How about the skeletons? Well, you're just gonna have to take my word on it, but yeah. If you select hard game, then you just take double damage. It's not very interesting. If you wanted to play this game yourself, I would honestly advise against even using hard mode because it's just very boring. There's no thought behind it. Here's something that's a little more interesting. You make a new save file and you input your name as Maxim after beating the game. That's right. If you've played a Castlevania game before to completion, you knew where this was going. You can play as Maxim after you beat the game. And he is quite different from Juice. As you can see, he is much faster. Also has a sword instead of a whip. He has this little kick attack, which is very spammable but short range. Still has dive kicks. You can see he still can dash around like Juiced. There is a few places where he's different. First of all, instead of a double jump, you have triple jump. And as you can see, his jumps go extremely high. Also, as you can see, you may remember you needed the crush boots to get up into here before, but that's a very important gameplay difference in Maxim mode, is that there are no obstacles or roadblocks anywhere in the game. In fact, most of the game is actually removed because, as you can see, if I press start, there's no pause screen. Yes, the game is paused right now. Trust me, I can't input anything. So there's no pause screen. There's no equipment. There are no shops. Cannot collect Dracula's remains. There are no spellbooks to collect. So no magic combos. And on the topic of that, you can see Maxim has a weird sub-weapon. It's the Shuriken, which is pretty good. It's just a long-range attack that goes in a weird little arc. It's also his only sub-weapon. All other sub-weapon candles are replaced with, as you can see, just nothing. There's supposed to be a Bible there normally, but there's just nothing. You can still get life max-ups and heart max-ups, but yeah, no equipment, no shops, no new unlockable moves, no magic, no pretty much anything. A lot of the game is just gone. There are also no cutscenes, and again, all roadblocks are gone, which means that the entirety of the castle, the entirety of both castles, in fact, are immediately available to you in Maxim mode. You can explore the entire castle right away. As you can see, the lower key door is down there, although even with Maxim's triple jump, you can see we can't quite make it up here. Where one of Maxim's special moves comes into play. If you, in midair, hold up, and then press B, and continue to hold up, you'll get this weird spin move, and as you can see, you gain some height while it's active, which means if you do it a few times, and get over this. You can spin into enemies to do damage, but it drains your MP for as long as you're doing it. As you can see, we have access to the gate right away, and we can even switch over to Castle B right away. So, yes, Maxim just has full access to literally everything right away with no roadblocks. And also, as you can see, there are no shop here. So, Maxim mode is basically like a speedrun mode, almost. The end goal of Maxim mode, you may be asking, you may be wondering, you know, what is even the point of this whole mode if you can't, you know, there's no story, there's no roadblocks or anything, you just have the whole castle. What kind of progression is there? Well, there's no progression, but the end goal is once you kill all bosses, you will gain access to the final boss room, which, as you can see in the middle there, is available on the map. It's just that as soon as you beat the every boss in the game, it'll open up and you are allowed to go fight the final boss, which I'm not going to be playing all the way through Maxim mode right now. It's a fun little side mode to do once in a while, but the thing is, it takes about an hour to complete, and there really wouldn't be anything really to say throughout it. I mean, we already just played through the entire game. You watched. I would assume you watched everything else to this point. It would be weird if you started with the last episode. You see where, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, I won't play all the way through it, but I will show off everything unique about Maxim, because he has some cool stuff. Yes, he has his shuriken, he has his triple jump, dive kick, and spin move, but he has an interesting special move as well, which will quickly go find a suitable enemy to show it off. Alright, we are approaching a room with a good enemy to face to show off this special move, and as you can see, Maxim is extremely fast with the combination of his dive kick, triple jump, and mostly just those two, the dive kick and the triple jump. You can just blaze through levels at Mach speed. As you can see, this is the room where we found the fire book, but it's just replaced with a single heart. Maxim is very, very fast, so he's really fun to control because he's easily twice as fast as Juiced. Anyway, this room has the Pike Master. If you input right, left, down, attack, you get a special move. If I can actually input it right, there you go. Yeah, you get this screen clearing attack where you summon shadow clones to just deal massive damage to everything on the screen across multiple hits. It is a bit finicky to input, but it is very strong when it works. As you can see, it deals easily over 150 damage to anything it hits. Very MP costly as well. You may have also noticed I'm taking a whole lot of damage for some reason. Yeah, Maxim takes, it seems to be a roughly set amount of damage from all enemies, regardless of what they are. So you can see, even a Flea Man does this much damage and is able to seriously hurt us. Yeah, that's kind of the difficult part of Maxim mode. It's the fact that you take a lot of damage from everything. Oh, in fact, I almost died to that guy, but okay, because there's another special move that helps you get around that. If you input up, down, right attack, you spend 50 hearts to immediately get a full heal. So, if you have the hearts to spend, Maxim is pretty survivable. Yeah, it's a good game mode. Again, I won't play all the way through it, but Maxim is just a very, very fun character because of just how fast he is and how much movement he has. In fact, in the speedrunning community for this game, which, you know, take that with a grain of salt, because speedrunning a game is very different than just playing through it casually. Speedrunning community, I am pretty sure there are far more runs for Maxim than there actually are for Juiced, because generally the preferred playstyle of the game for speedruns is to just play as Maxim, because he's just so much faster. And yeah, he's really fun, because he's so fast, so I don't even blame them. Of course, I don't dislike playing as Juiced at all, but Maxim, you know, if you want to play through the game again, and you want to do it a little differently, then yeah, try out Maxim mode, it's really fun. Anyway, that's enough of that, though. After you beat the game, you'll also see you unlock Boss Rush mode. Now, I know in the first episode when I was on the title screen, you probably already saw that. That was because even if you erase all of your save files, Boss Rush mode stays unlocked, and yeah, I beat this game in my own time in the past, several times in fact, so that's why Boss Rush mode was always there. But Boss Rush mode, it's self-explanatory. What it is it's basically a speedrun challenge mode. Take the axe. As you can see, you don't fight every boss in the game. There are 3 difficulties to Boss Rush. There's easy, normal, and hard, where I believe hard is unlockable if you beat normal. And what Boss Rush mode is you basically fight a set order of bosses while having a preset loadout of equipment and special moves. And it's a speedrun challenge. The goal is to just clear it in the shortest amount of time possible. And that's about it, really. I don't remember the exact order of bosses. I just know that Giant Bat is the first, and then First Form Dracula is the final. Only First Form Dracula, though. You do not actually fight the monstrous Second Form Dracula. Okay, even when playing as Juiced as well, you have no magic combos to use in Boss Rush. You are just stuck with whatever sub-weapon you choose and your whip, so I guess it's a mode that kind of relies on fundamentals, almost, because you don't have to worry about using the magic combos. I'm not sure. It's a fun little mode to check out, like, once, but I'm not really the type of, you know, I'm not the type who really cares about speed challenges like that. As you can see, once you clear a boss, it spawns an orb, which you may or may not pick up if you want to or don't want to. And you can move on. grab some hearts to restock, and then just move on to the next boss. As you can see, now it's the living armor from the Shrine of Apostate A. I don't remember the exact order of bosses, but again, they generally just follow progression order of the game. You see we fight like the first boss and the second boss, but it's not all of them, and because this game has a shitload of bosses, so I don't really blame them. Jeez. Yeah, you can see he hits pretty hard. Unlike in other games like Aria of Sorrow, that game's boss rush just copies whatever equipment you have based on whatever save file you use to play boss rush. This game gives you a preset loadout. Anyway, that's about it for boss rush. I'm not going to play all the way through it. There is a little more to it. It is. Go to boss road. What the fuck did I just say? Boss road. If you go to boss rush mode, sorry, if you hold L and R and select your difficulty, you can actually play boss rush as Maxim. As you can see, all these candles are just empty because he only has his own sub-weapon, but otherwise, yeah, it's just boss rush mode, but you're playing as Maxim. I imagine if you wanted to do it for speed, you'd probably play as him to do it because, I mean, it's Maxim. He is really strong. Not gonna bother killing Giant Bat again, but you get the picture. All of his controls are the same in this mode as they are in the other ones. So yeah, fun stuff. Now, there is one more thing related to boss rush, and that involves, of course, this is a Konami game. You probably expected it, the Konami code. When you boot the game, you can see the Konami logo on a white background. If you input the Konami code here, I'm going to do. I don't think I did it right. No, it's not. Alright, bear with me. You have to input it quite quickly. You can see, I input the code, and now the title screen is a different color. What the hell? Go to boss rush mode, pick your difficulty, and suddenly... That's right. You're playing as the OG, motherfucking Simon Belmont. Only available in boss rush mode by inputting the Konami code on the Konami logo. As you can see, he does not have access to the Bible or the Fist because, of course, those sub-weapons didn't exist in Castlevania on the NES. You can see he has a stair climbing sprite, of course. Wouldn't be Castlevania without that. You can even hear the unique remix of... I don't remember the song name. I think it's Vampire Killer. There's a unique remix of the song that plays as Simon in boss rush mode. Very cool stuff. So, where Simon lacks mobility, no slide kick, cannot dash left and right, no double jump, no dive kick, no super jump, no anything. You can just walk and jump. What he lacks in movement, he makes up for in sheer power because, my god, Simon hits like a goddamn truck. Over 100 damage in every single hit. Let's let the bat do his little spinning drill attack and then get some hits in on him. You can see Simon's damage is no joke. He hits extremely hard. Of course, in true classic Castlevania fashion, after jumping, you cannot alter your air trajectory at all. You're locked in to whatever direction you chose to jump in. Yeah, very cool stuff. And I think... Actually, I'm going to play all the way through boss rush mode as Simon because, well, might as well show him off. A fun character. A little limiting for sure, but certainly a fun character. Back to the living armor. Certainly harder to dodge stuff as this character because there's no dash. You can't do that quick in and out movement you can with Maxim and Juiced. In fact, you can even get knocked back into the enemy. You see like that? That really sucks. Simon really just shreds everything in seconds. It's very fun. It'd be really nice if you could play as him in the main game, although the lack of movement abilities kind of makes that impossible. There is actually a ROM hack. There's an old ROM hack that I think is still getting updated for Harmony of Dissonance called Revenge of the Fiendesicle. I think that's how it's pronounced. And that's basically a ROM hack that not only adds Simon to the main game, but it adds a whole bunch of new characters from existing Castlevania games and just lets you play through the whole main game with them. And they'll have their own unique movement abilities and special moves and everything. And the version of Simon you play in that game is still very slow. But he does actually have stuff like he has a slide and he has a double and super jump to ensure you can actually beat the game. Jeez. Yeah, the restricted movement on Simon is a bit something to get used to for sure, but it's not that bad. It's just a really fun novelty of being able to play a character like this in a game like this, you know? And I gotta say, I am a very big fan of the fact that you still just use the exact unaltered NES Castlevania sprites. It's very amusing. Kind of like how Harmony of Despair on the PS3. That game, you could also play Simon in that game, and just like here, he just uses classic NES sprites, and so he stands out really hard from the rest of the game, but in the best way possible. It's very great. Let's just keep moving on. I don't think I'm going to show every single boss fight here in Boss Rush mode, because, well, you probably already get the point by now. Who's up next? Ah, the Golem. Gotta very deliberately move around to dodge some of these attacks without the ability to dash, but... Jeez. I've already reiterated this several times. You just do a bunch of damage, really. You get a really good angle to hit him. You sit up here and crouch and just whip. Although there's not much of a way to really dodge this attack, other than just kind of get out of the way. Come on, bud. Oh, we're kind of stuck in the corner. There we go. That was a close one. I guess I'll have to take the boss orb here, because otherwise I'm gonna die. That's the hardest part about playing Assignment again, is it's so much harder to dodge stuff because you can't dash or slide or really maneuver around, like, at all. Get that orb. Yeah, his control's a little stiff, but again, it's all fun stuff. Pretty much every Castlevania game, starting with, like, Circle of the Moon onwards, has some sort of extra mode like this. No, starting with Symphony of the Night onwards, Castlevania games typically have extra modes that, like, just play through the game as extra characters, and I think this game is one of the better ones in that regard. This game's extra modes are just so unique and fun. Maybe not unique for Maxim, but Maxim mode is certainly really fun. Diamond mode and Boss Rush is just great. Oh, jeez. It's a whole new kind of challenge to actually just try to dodge this shit, which was not even that hard at all to dodge with the other characters. Yeah, I don't want to just repeat myself over and over again, but Simon fun, Boss Rush, neat mode. I guess I'll just catch you when I get to the end of Boss Rush then, instead of just repeating myself over and over. Alright, well, I guess that's the end of the normal Boss Rush route. I suppose it's only hard mode Boss Rush where Dracula is the final opponent, but now you can see, 8-minute, 34-second record. Oh, amazing. But, yeah, that's it. That really is it. That's all of Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. And with that, we can finally put the series to rest. Once again, everybody who watched the series through to the end... Oh yeah, of course, you can see it's hard mode as well, but... Anyway, everybody who watched the series all the way through to the end... Again, thank you so much. It was a fun time recording all the footage for this, getting the chance to play through this game again. I really appreciate all the comments and feedback and whatever likes and views this video gets. Thank you all so much. And I already have another series in the works. I have another game to play. So, I hope to catch you then. And one last time, thank you all so much for watching.